awesome. Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, that's very good to know, man. That's very good to know, because I know people with, way less kids than you, and, what I'm saying, they get a bum rap, what I'm saying, for the worst thing that, one bad thing they do, what I'm saying, they get a bum rap from the kids because their mom done planted a seed in their head, a bad seed in their head. So,
well, one of the things that a guy can duck also, although we're in jail, we're confined, you don't lose the responsibility as a father. Now, naturally,
right.
that ability is hobbled because of your circumstances, but you still have it. So that means that you have to make a concerted effort to reach out to your children and to try and become part of their lives. And in some regards, to live your life vicariously through their experiences, through their trips.
Right.
One of my sons went to Egypt recently, so he sends me pictures. I get letters from my granddaughter by him, and we interact. So again, like I said, notwithstanding the circumstances, you still have a responsibility, and you do as much as you can.
Right. Good, good. And man, just to go off, this show is normally Conspiracy Theory Thursday, you know what I'm saying, and we like to do, the interviews and whatnot, but we also like to go, a little above the norm, you know what I'm saying, not,
okay.
Go the same route, man. So I got to ask you this question. I'm infatuated, you know what I'm saying, in the last probably 6 years. I've been kind of infatuated with, things going on in space, you know what I'm saying, and my next question to you, and this is just an opinion, hated question, you know what I'm saying, and if you feel like this is, hey, man, I ain't into that, you know what I'm saying, go ahead and say that,
okay.
But what do you feel the government is truly doing in space?
Well, it's twofold. I read a lot in that area, too. I read a lot of stuff. I've read Stephen Hawking. I've read Timothy Ferris. I've read everything by Carl Sagan, So I read a lot about that kind of stuff. But what I've read also more recently is I read An Inconvenient Truth by Al Gore. And before that, he wrote another book called Earth in the Balance. And I think that we are doing so much harm to the planet in terms of not just, the carbon emissions and stuff like that, but on a lot of levels. We're doing so much harm to the planet that colonization of other planets is, if things don't turn around, is in this planet's future. So one of the things that they are doing, they talked about terraforming on Mars. They talked about putting space stations on the moon. This isn't a conspiracy theory. This is actual facts. These are things that they're looking at. These are things that they're considering because, with global warming, after a while, we've already reached the tipping point. Now we're beyond the tipping point. And no one knows really how far it's going to go or how horrendous the circumstances is going to be that we've created. So technology has pushed us here. And because and greed has pushed us here. So because of that, they're looking at other alternatives. And I think that that's one of the things that they're looking at.
Okay. Well put. Basically, man, I know you don't have too much time, so I just want to right now take the time to let you get anything that you want to say. You know what I'm saying? Get your. I know we shout out your petition online and your blog spot, but if anything else you got going on, definitely let us know so we can help get it out there, to the public.
Well, one of the things that is where my heart really is trying to get the at-risk kids off of the periphery. I shouldn't say off of the periphery, but off of the cusp of the game. Mm-hmm. The game, and when I say the game, I know you know what I'm talking about. But it holds a certain fascination for inner-city kids. And and it's dangerous. It's potentially very, very dangerous. And I think that we have the guys like myself and other guys that are considered legends in their own rights, and that's not me saying that, I'm just saying how it's viewed, or urban icons. We have a responsibility to try and tell a unvarnished truth as to what this thing is really all about and what's going on, and how devastating it is when you come in one of these systems and you're in here for a life sentence.
Right.
So if I have anything that I could say to him, I would tell him, listen, avoid it like the plague, and that in the feds there is no parole, and that you don't have to be a big shot, you don't have to be a high roller to get a life sentence with no parole. You can be a minimal player and still end up in here until you die. So like I said, if there's anything that I want to say, it's a cautionary tale. That not to try and emulate the guys that you see that you think are high rollers, because it's a dead-end street.
yeah, man, technology, I believe, is slowly killing us, man, because we just look for the quickest thing. And the technology, if you notice, it gets quicker and quicker and quicker. We got this fast. We got the Evo 4G. It's got this, amount of space, and it goes this quick. You know what I'm saying? And somebody's gonna come something faster and faster and faster. That's all we think about. Oh, my computer runs slow. I got to get something faster.
Yeah. I gotta go get the new 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a couple of weeks later I gotta go get the 4, 5, 6, 7. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right. No, that's real. That's real.
That is real.
Yeah, my thing is it's a double-edged sword with technology. I think it's a good thing because without the Internet, a lot of these things, these topics that we have, we wouldn't have the quick references to do that. You actually have to pick up a book. You have to know what book to get. You have to be able to go to the library, find that book, and then come home and read it. So I think that it has its pros and its cons. The thing is, one thing about a book, I think that it's a tool. These are all tools. The thing is, the biggest thing we need to be using is our brain. We need to be exercising it by reading and doing things like that. But you got to start questioning what it is you're reading, because you got to understand that everything you read was written by somebody else. You're getting somebody else's point of view and opinion. So you got to be careful about who you're reading, what you're reading. You got to be careful about these things. But if you start to get enough knowledge and start to make sense of things yourself, you get a whole new point of view on something. And that's where we need to interact with people. And I think that's another thing that technology does is it stops us from interacting with people. Instead of you going to the library and asking the librarian about this book and I'm trying to find out about these things, we go right on to Google. And we have this very basic knowledge base, and it's coming from one source, you. Well, you got to interact with other people to find out, well, damn, I never even thought about it like that. You're not going to get that from Google. But if you ask somebody else.
That's a good thing, though, man. Let me say something real quick. I said the Internet is a good thing if you have your brain on your shoulders and you don't use it for evil, and you use it for business purposes. You get what I'm saying? Because it's a big tool for these bands, these indie artists. All the artists trying to come up. It's a big tool for models, for everybody that's trying to do the thing. Look at Twitter.
But it's just like what V said. It's kind of like it's a double-edged sword because you got so many people that don't know how to use it right. You got so many people that do and can use it for what the purpose is. And to me, it's kind of like people will lose their minds or lose their brains over certain things that they see on the Internet or online instead of not keeping your same, your motor skills and your brain functions to be able to take that information and use that for something else. It's just like, if it wasn't for the Internet, we wouldn't be doing a damn Internet radio show. But I need people to actually understand. I need people to understand that, use your brain, come up to your own conclusion, do some research, and go keep your motor skills functioning when it comes to this shit. You know what I mean?
The simplest thing you can do, and you'll never run out of time, you'll never run out of, it'll never end, what I'm saying, it'll keep you busy for the rest of your life, is just asking why. Keep asking why.
There you go.
Every time you ask why, what I'm saying, now you got to come up with an answer. When you come up with an answer, well, damn, all right, well, why do we do that?
Yeah.
Yeah. And young kids are the prime example, you know what I'm saying, and toddlers and, you know what I'm saying, young adolescents, they're the prime example because I know my daughter asked me 100 questions between a stop sign and a stop light. You know what I'm saying? It's a never-ending question battle. You know what I'm saying? And I gotta answer these things. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I don't want to.
And they learn to stop when we go, quit talking so damn much. Do something. We run them off. You know what I'm saying? They started doing that because that's what they kept asking us. Well, why? Well, why do you do that? But you said that smoking is bad, Daddy. Well, you know what I'm saying? But why? You know what I'm saying? But then you get to a point where you just get your little ass on out of here. You know what I'm saying? You just ain't old enough for it. You know what I'm saying? That's what we do.
Can I give a shout out to Akbar Prey too? Because to me, a man being locked up for 22 years, and still trying to do something, almost 22 years, still doing something to be able to help educate these kids and get these kids down that right path, and he hasn't, you know what I'm saying, he still has, he still sounds as passionate as I don't know what, you know what I'm saying, despite that, like, I don't know what I could have done being locked down for almost 22. So you know, like, he definitely needs a lot of respect, though, real deal. I mean, especially for something that he believes in his heart and his mind that he did not do. That's a weight I would never wish on nobody at all.
Right.